A wonderful day, y'all. Today is Diddy day. He is going to be going to court today, and he is going to be arraigned on his indictment, on the charges from the superseding indictment. Y'all, we are gonna get into it. Welcome in the building, you guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into it, you guys. So, let me bring this a little closer. So, y'all, so it says Sean Diddy Combs to be arraigned on new indictment, as trial nears. As you guys know, Diddy is going to be, his original trial starts on May 5th. But this is a superseding indictment court hearing that he has to go and, be present for, you guys. So y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. Smash the like button as y'all come in the building. Happy TGIF. I hope y'all are having a wonderful morning, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. So it says, New York, March 14th, which is today. Sean, quote, Diddy, quote, Combs is expected on Friday, today, to be arraigned in court on a new indictment, which added accusations that the hip-hop mogul forced employees to work long hours and threatened to punish those who did not assist in his 2-decade Rex trafficking scheme. Y'all, this is getting crazy. It says U.S. District Judge Arun Subramanian is expected to ask Combs 55 for his plea to the new indictment at a 2 p.m. Eastern, I can believe it's Eastern Standard Time, hearing in Manhattan Federal Court. A trial remains scheduled for May 5th. Y'all, what is going on? I mean, this is getting crazy, but y'all, let's get into it. Combs previously pleaded not guilty to charges of racketeering, conspiracy, Rex trafficking, and transportation to engage in the P word, right? While the new indictment added no new charges, it's described what prosecutors call the forced labor, and Combs demanded in the connection with the racketeering conspiracy. Y'all, smash the like button. Come in the building. Welcome in. Happy TGIF. Y'all, today is Diddy's court date, and we are getting into it. So it said Combs and his associates maintain control over some employees by forcing them to work long hours, little sleep, through the use of threats to use physical force, financial harm, psychological harm, and reputational harm. Hey, Dirty Mob, welcome in. Hey, my baby Jamil Peters said, Mr. I Am Comedy says, salute Queen. Smash the like button. Everyone coming in the building. Today is a big day. Yes, it is. Hey, Mike, how are you? Welcome in. Y'all, today is Diddy Day. I'm telling you, there is a lot going on with Diddy, y'all. And I'm telling you, what is the outcome? We're going to see. Is he going to plead guilty or not guilty? I bet you he's going to plead not guilty, of course. I mean, look at who his lawyer is. I'm just saying. But y'all, let's continue. It says Combs' defense lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, y'all, we know he's something, he a little slow, his elevator don't go all the way to the top, that's just my perspective on Mr. Agnifilio. But anyway, let's continue. Has said his client never forced anyone to engage in rectal acts against their will. And y'all, I don't know, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, right? It's kind of crazy. It says prosecutors with the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office said Combs used his business empire, including his record label Bad Boy Entertainment, to sexually abuse women between 2004 and 2021. Hey, Bill, how are you? Snapshot, welcome in. Mike, welcome in. Y'all, welcome in the building. Smash the like button as you guys come in the building. So it says Combs allegedly abused, including having women take part, y'all, in a recorded rectal performances called freak-offs with the male Rex workers who were sometimes transported across state lines. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is crazy, but y'all welcome in the building. Mad to Les, welcome. Thank you, Mad to Last, thank you. So let's continue. So it says, Combs also faces dozens of civil lawsuits by women and men accused him of sexual assault and other misconduct. He has denied all wrongdoings. Y'all, he's innocent until proven guilty, but come on, y'all. He's been doing this for a long time, has he not? And also, has he not told on himself on some of the stuff he's doing? Y'all, he went on all kind of, interviews saying on one interview specifically that I know I'm probably going to get arrested one day. They're going to do this. Why would you even say that if you're not doing anything wrong, right? You would not say, oh, the police is going to come and shut my operation or shut my party down. You're not going to say, oh, I'm going to get arrested if you know you're not doing anything. If you're just having a party, doing, whatever you're doing, having a good time, there's no way you're going to be arrested. But he's been telling on himself. Y'all smash the like button, y'all. Let's continue reading. So it says, Friday's hearing, which is today, is also expected to discuss jury selection. Oh my goodness, y'all. Who do y'all think is going to be on this jury? Is it going to be a lot of old people? Is it going to be some young people, some middle-aged people? I wonder how they going to select this jury, y'all, because I really want to know. I don't think they need to select anybody probably above the age of, I don't know, really older. I'm not going to discriminate against nobody's age, but somebody who is probably maybe not even interested in this stuff. But I mean, there's older people that are interested in this, but let's continue. So it says, including the potential difficulty in finding an impartial jury, given Combs' fame and substantial media coverage of his criminal case. Prosecutors want jury selection to begin on April 21st. So that's another date to remember, April 21st, right? It says to help ensure that the trial does not run past the July 4th holiday. Okay. Defense lawyers want jury selection to begin on May 5th, saying an earlier date would be unfair to them. Combs has been held in the Brooklyn jail awaiting trial since his September 2024 arrest. Also known during his career as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Combs founder Bad Boy Records, and is credited with helping turn rappers and R&B singers such as Mary J. Blige, Faith Evans, Notorious B.I.G., and Usher into stars in the 1990s and the 2000s. His career has been derailed since federal agents raided his Los Angeles and Miami Beach, Florida homes in early 2024 as part of the sex trafficking investigation that led to his indictment. So y'all, today is the day he is going to be arraigned. They probably already getting him ready to be transported to the federal court if they have not already, because that process with the inmates takes a while in order for them to get to where they need to go for court, right? So the things I know, like they said, the forced labor, it was added over to the superseding indictment. But I don't know why his lawyer is saying that he never trafficked or he never did this or he never did that. I don't think, and I'm not no lawyer, but I would think the safest thing to say is that, he's innocent to proven guilty, and the evidence will, justify if he is innocent or guilty. But to say that he's not did anything, he not did that, Mr. Agnifilio don't know what the feds have for evidence, right? I would not want to put my foot in my mouth and say that, a client of mine, if I was a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, but say that my client is innocent. I would not say that. I would not say he ain't did this, he ain't did that. I would just say we're going to prove it in court. I would never say that, he didn't do that, because the feds, they have a lot, right? They raided his house. They got all kind of tapes. They got all kind of tapes with all kind of people. But y'all, it's going to be crazy once they start this court case. What today's hearing entails, we're going to see. But y'all, let's continue.
will be back in federal court to enter another plea. His defense team is also making accusations against CNN.
Yeah, Eyewitness News reporter Jaysha Patel live in our studios with those details. Jaysha.
John, Rachel, Sean Diddy Combs is expected to plead not guilty today to the allegations in 2 superseding indictments. Now, one of the new indictments expands the time frame of allegedly criminal conduct and adds 2 alleged victims. The second new indictment said Combs forced employees to work long hours, threatening physical and reputational harm. It alleges Combs forced at least 1 employee to engage in sex acts with him. Combs was arrested last year after being charged in a sex trafficking indictment. He has denied all the allegations and has pled not guilty to charges against him. Meantime, the defense said it also intends to turn over items related to a video showing Combs kicking and dragging his former girlfriend.
And y'all, this video right here is something that nobody can go and unsee, right? When this video came out last year, y'all, a lot of people were like, OMG. He is a millionaire, billionaire, whatever his status is. It was a billionaire. But I cannot believe a billionaire is doing this to it. I mean, even any man, don't matter if you're a billionaire or not. He is like, for him being a billionaire, a music mogul, and doing this terrible thing, this says a lot. This says a lot. And they wanted to say that this tape by CNN was altered. I don't believe it, but let's continue, y'all. Hey, just here for last. How are you? Welcome in.
Cassie Ventura in 2016. It was a video that was first obtained by CNN, and the defense has insisted the video was altered by CNN. And in a statement, a CNN spokesperson denied the claim that the video was altered, saying, quote, CNN never altered the video and did not destroy the original copy of the footage, which was retained.
Just for last, thanks for stopping by. Thank you, y'all. Smash the like button. Let's get the likes up, y'all. Today, Diddy got that court date, y'all.
Retained by the source. CNN aired the story about the video several months before Combs was arrested. And federal prosecutors today plan to ask the judge to start the trial May 5th. It's expected to take 2 weeks to seat a jury. Back to you.
Yeah, publicity, I imagine finding that jury might be a little difficult. Okay, Jaysha, thanks.
And y'all, I think so too. I really think so. I don't know how they're going to do this jury pool with the feds. I have no idea, but I do know, I think they need to probably, make sure that it's a even, it's going to be like a fair trial for him. Everybody deserves to have a fair trial, right? True indeed. But we're going to see what is actually going to transpire, because on this superseding indictment, it has the forced labor that was not too long ago added, and I did a live on that last week whenever the superseding indictment came out. But there's a lot of things, that is going to, I guess, come out here today at this the superseding indictment hearing. But I mean, this thing is going to take a long time. I don't think for once. Oh, my baby Jamil says smash the like button, y'all. Smash the like button. Everybody coming in, yes, smash the like button, you guys. This superseding indictment, you guys, it is not going to be it's not going to be let me see, it's not going to be probably a long hearing. I wouldn't expect it to be that long. There's a few things, of course, they're going to be talking about in the court hearing. But when the feds, usually whenever they go in, we won't probably see any, of course, no camera footage, because it is the feds. We may have to, of course, link in, because I'm going to go live. I'm going to go live, and we're going to see what's going on with this. Yes, pure survival just here for the last. It's going to be pure survival. I want to know, is he going to plead guilty or is he going to plead innocent? I believe he's probably going to plead innocent to these charges, because we already see that his lawyer is already saying that, oh, he ain't never did this, he ain't never did that. I mean, I don't know, but I do see that as being one of the things that, I mean, not one of the things, what he's going to be doing at this hearing today, y'all. His lawyer is a little something else, right? His lawyer is something else. But y'all, let's continue.
And did we just get a clue as to who may be an important witness at an upcoming trial? We're going to break that down for you and more right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Okay, so we have a bunch of updates in the Sean Combs criminal case out in New York. First up, we have a brand new indictment. This is a second superseding indictment, meaning this is the second revised or amended indictment in this case. The first superseding indictment was back in January. Now, I gotta give a caveat here. Before you think that this is naming new defendants or new charges against Sean Combs, I'm gonna read you the letter to the court from Matthew Podolsky. This is the acting United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York. It was filed in conjunction with the second superseding indictment. This lays out what the indictment says and what it doesn't say. It reads, "Dear Judge Subramanian, the government respectfully submits this letter regarding the S2 indictment returned today in the above referenced case by a grand jury sitting in this district. The S2 indictment contains no new charged offenses, but includes additional allegations related to the racketeering conspiracy charged in count 1. Specifically, the S2 indictment contains additional allegations as to the means and methods of the racketeering enterprise related to forced labor." Okay, I'm going to stop.
So they are talking about there, of course, forced labor has been added to the indictment. Ruben Garcia says, hopefully he doesn't get taken out before he starts exposing the 6 celebrity friends. I know, right? Jamil says he definitely not going to plead guilty, laughing out loud. This whole trial is going to be crazy. Can't wait to see what the feds got on him. Yes, exactly. I believe the feds got a bag on him. I'm telling you, they are probably, focused so much on this Cassie tape, on this, on that. They're like, a lot of people are like honed in and focused on that when there is probably way more other deeper even charges on this indictment and on the charges and the evidence and everything that the feds have. I think it's way more than that. But y'all, Jamil says, let's get the likes up. Yeah, smash the like button, y'all. Let's smash the like button. Sabrina says, I truly believe Diddy is guilty and you always reap what you sow. Just watch a Cassie video and the abuse I witnessed was enough for me. Exactly, Sabrina. Exactly. Y'all smash the like button. Whenever, like I said, I had friends, and I said this before, that was like, no, Diddy, I don't believe Diddy did that. People just making up lies. And then when the video came out, you guys, my friend was like, OMG, really? Like, I could not believe what I seen. I couldn't believe what I seen along with a lot of other people. Hey, Laura Lee. Hey, Tammy, how are y'all? Welcome in. Great morning to y'all. Great morning. So I really think that this situation with this superseding indictment and the original indictment and charges, I believe it's going to be probably even a lot more than, of course, this Cassie issue and situation. Y'all, let's be honest with ourselves. Anytime something is going on, even in the world or whatever, they usually try to hone in on one thing to more talk about, when really and truly they got more bigger things, that they are trying to like hide or not talk about. And the same thing with the feds with this situation. I believe they're talking about the Cassie tapes and this, that, and the third. But y'all, there might be some more other devastating news and situations that the feds have on them tapes, y'all. I'm just saying, but y'all, let's continue.
Right there, because before I go any further into this letter, I want to go directly to the second superseding indictment. And I'm going to read for you now what appears to be the only change, this one new addition. Again, this is under the means and method of the criminal enterprise that Combs allegedly led and ran as part of the racketeering conspiracy charge. Remember, this criminal enterprise that prosecutors allege engaged in forced labor, sex trafficking, arson, kidnapping. And we remember what the main central allegations are about this racketeering conspiracy, that Combs allegedly engaged in a pattern of abusing women for years, verbally, emotionally, physically, sexually, that included transporting women and commercial sex workers and coercing and forcing women to participate in sex acts for his own desire, that he would use drugs or threats or power or influence to get them to do this, to get them to do what he wanted, that he used his power, his resources, his business.
Yes, I do agree on that. Hey, Jessica, Laura Lee, Tammy. Tammy says the list goes on and on and on. Oh, absolutely, Tammy. There is going to be, I'm telling you, let me turn the camera. There's going to be a lot of people. And are these people going to be the ones that are getting deals? Are some of them going to be the ones that are going to be, sentenced along with him, and given like time in actual prison? Because a RICO charge, you guys, does not include just one person. There is many co-conspirators to this. I mean, we talking about how did they get to where they were going. When the trafficking, Diddy has an airplane. So it had to be a pilot that was flying these people to and from buses, these, probably SUVs, cars, all kind of, means and modes of transportation that people were driving, and they were, in this whole operation. So this is going to entail a lot of people, but y'all, let's continue.
This empire, employees, associates, to carry out this alleged criminal activity, including having them cover it all up, and all these practices are violations of law. So this is what the new paragraph in the second superseding indictment reads, quote, Combs, along with members and associates of the enterprise, also maintained control over certain employees of the Combs business, whom he forced to work long hours with little sleep through use of, among other things, physical force, psychological harm, financial harm, and reputational harm, and or threats of the same. In doing so, Combs, assisted by members and associates of the enterprise, caused these employees to believe they would be harmed, including by losing their jobs if they did not comply with his demands. With respect to one employee, Combs used physical force, psychological harm, financial harm, and reputational harm, and or threats of the same to cause the employee to engage in sex acts with Combs. All right, I want to thank our sponsor, OU.
And y'all, that is y'all, that's a lot. I mean, people were saying, and I can understand that when people were saying that, some of these girls, they went there willingly. Yes, I believe some of them did go there willingly, right? But when you go somewhere willingly, even if it's for Rex work, I've never been in that industry. I don't know. I'm just saying, people who went and seen, you got people in that industry, right? And they probably seen an ad or knew somebody who was doing the same thing. They say, hey girl, Diddy got these, these freak off positions open and available. And then when they got there, they thought they were going to do whatever they were going to do, be freak off mermaids, freak off dragons or whatever, and then leave and go home and get paid, right? But when they got there, was it a whole total different thing? Forced labor, y'all. I remember on one video or one article, they said that they were getting their heads smashed in cars. I mean, they said that they were that Diddy and whoever his goons were holding these people against their will. Y'all, that's like some serious stuff going on. And they thinking that, they just going, having a freak off, doing what they do, and then getting paid and leaving. But when they got there, even Diddy said that he makes sure they have water, they got alcohols, he locks the doors. He said this. Isn't that being held against your will? And then he probably made them work. I'm assuming from what this is saying, he made them work and forced them to work against their will, right? I'm telling you, it's crazy. Tammy says, did he think this is gonna go the way it's gone his whole life? That's why he didn't leave. He thinks he's gonna beat this and go free. Yes, absolutely. He thought, but y'all, one thing he didn't realize is that the feds are different from the state, right? The feds are different from the state, and anybody that has, basically dealt with the feds versus the state, right? They know the feds are not playing that. The state, you may be a little bit more lenient, but the feds, no, they got you pinned to the wall. They got you pinned to the wall. Like, your back is like all the way against the wall. But y'all, let's continue.
Know who these employees are or who that specific employee may be. If you ask me, maybe a couple weeks ago, I thought I could have made an argument if this came out then. Maybe it could have been Rodney Little Rod Jones, Combs' former producer, who filed his own sexual assault lawsuit against Combs, maybe was cooperating with the government. But what happened? We know in a recent filing from Combs' defense attorneys, they seem to suggest that Jones is not a key witness for the prosecution anymore. In a recently filed...
And let me, hold up, y'all, hold up. Let me kind of say something about Little Rodney, right? Little Rodney was there to help him do the Love album, from what I understand. And if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. He was there to do the Love album and work for, for Diddy on that. But how did he end up working supposedly on the Love album, but then he was out there allegedly, from what I heard, pulling women to bring back to give to Diddy, basically bringing these women back to, like, recruiting basically. Now, if you've been there and you're supposed to be doing a Love album or whatever specifically you're there for with Diddy, why are you out doing other things? Right? That just does not like register with me, right? Tammy says it feels like they was going stay. Tammy, that's what I'm thinking too. I was like, wait a minute. Even if he said go out and give me, go out and find me some freak off mermaids, right? And bring them back, because we're gonna have a freak off. I would probably left. I would have left and never came back, because I would have been like, I'm not here for that. I'm here for strictly business. I'm here to help you with this Love album. Anything else extra, get somebody else to do it. Because I did not, and that's what I'm saying. When people probably went there, these females, males, or whatever, they probably went there, just like I think it was who was it? Bradley said, under false pretenses. Yes, they went there under false pretenses. But it was like, hold on, Little Rodney, I went there to be, a part of the Love album, whatever he was doing for the Love album. I'm not here to be pulling no freak off maid, to be recruiting nobody for you, Diddy. If you want to find somebody, you want to, get somebody to recruit and bring and tell them that you're going to, sell them a dream and give them, get them up high in the music world or whatever, then go find somebody to do that, because I'm not here. That's my job, is not for that, right? So when Little Rodney put out his lawsuit, then I started hearing and seeing other little things, right? I'm like, well, if he was there for the Love album, why is he ending up going to the nightclubs and going to recruit these little mermaids? And then he was there with Cuba Gooding Jr. It was like a whole lot of things that kind of had me wondering. And I was like, he seems like they did probably, like Tabby said, probably did go together. Tabby says Little Rod acted like a scorned woman. I know. That's what I'm saying, Tammy, because I'm like, it seems like, he probably, the way he was kind of looking and moving, it was like maybe he liked it and maybe Diddy was promising him something but never paid him. Y'all, there's no way I'm going to a job and I don't see a paycheck in at least 2 weeks. I'm sorry. There's no way. Or even when those deals, I don't know if they pay up front, in the middle, where, but you got to give me a down payment to start working and doing that type of work. I'm not going there without a signed contract and without knowledge and a concrete, solid, reason why I'm here. And then you're in there and then you're doing all these other things, plus being there to do the album. It's like, oh no, Lil Rodney, I don't know. This is like, so suspicious, Tammy. Very suspicious.
Motion. Combs' lawyers wrote some of the most salacious allegations recounted in the...
Let's skip this commercial, y'all. Yeah, it's very suspicious, right? I don't think for one moment that, I don't think so. I think Lil Rodney and him probably did have a little undercover relationship. I don't know. I may be wrong, but I'm just kind of saying. My baby Jamil said, smash the like button, y'all. Yeah, smash the like button. I'm telling you. This is crazy. Tammy says all these people saw stuff ahead and heard of stuff and didn't care till they realized they wasn't getting the bag. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. You know, but you have to go when you go and you stand on business, right? You go and stand on business when you are dealing with situations like this. I'm not going nowhere without no contract and you telling me, yeah, I'm gonna pay you. Okay, you're gonna pay me? Okay, we need to get a contract. Because what is in the contract is what exactly I'm gonna do. Was freaking off and recruiting mermaids, was that in the contract? I'm just saying. Jamil says Lil Rodney knows he had an affair with Diddy. I think so too. I really do think so, baby. I think Diddy was clapping his cheeks, he was clapping Diddy's cheeks. Maybe him, Cuba Gooding Jr. and Diddy maybe had all a threesome. I don't know. I'm just saying, a three-way love affair. I don't know, but his lawsuit, when he was saying that he was made to go and do, whenever you leave, right? If I'm telling somebody, go out and find me a mermaid, a freak off dragon, freak off mermaid, right? That person, if they're leaving the house, that means they can leave and not come back. So he left and came back. So this is really questionable to me. But y'all, let's continue. Real questionable.
From producer one, so we're surmising maybe that was Jones, who the government now says it will not even call to testify at trial. The investigator indicated he had interviewed producer one, and producer one had relayed stories about his time working for Combs, and the exact details of what producer one told the investigators is redacted, but the defense went on to say these accusations were never credible, they were uncorroborated. And the filing continues. The government has advised us it will not call producer one as a witness at Combs' trial. Presumably that is because his stories are fantastical and he lacks any credibility. Okay. So.
See, it says, hold on. His stories lack credibility. That's just what it says, right? It's presumable that is because his stories are fantastical and lacks any credibility. And that's what I'm saying. If you are signing up for a contract, that's like if you go to work, even if it's at Walmart. If you go to Walmart and you sign up for a job there, you get hired and they say, okay, you're going to be a cashier, right? Okay, I'll be a cashier. But now you want me to go outside and start recruiting people outside and start doing all of this, and you're making me do it. I mean, if you're going outside, that means you don't got to come back in, right? If the door is open and you can walk out of it, I would not come back and walk into the place, whatever, if I had the chance to leave, if I'm doing things that are not what I signed up for, right? So I'm just saying, with Little Rodney, yes, it was always questionable. Absolutely, y'all. Let's continue.
Witness at Combs' trial. Presumably that is because his stories are fantastical and he lacks any credibility. Okay, so assuming this is not, in the superseding indictment, the second superseding indictment, assuming this is not Rodney Jones, and assuming the defense is accurate about that, you put that to the side, who else could this be? Who else could they call? Who was an employee or employees of Sean Combs' empire that might be, described here? Well, I gotta say, look, I have a potential.
Tammy, you is hilarious. Tammy says, "What do getting hugged from the back got to do with Tammy, you is crazy. That is funny, right? I'm telling you, he was getting hugged from the back, from the side, and I don't. Did he enjoy it? I'm saying, it's questionable, right, Tammy? It makes me wonder. Did you really enjoy that? And what you said about Cuba Gooding Jr. was he just like I said, a three-way situation that you, Diddy, and him had? Because I don't feel like if you are being told to do something that you don't want to do, and they are saying you can leave, you can do this, that means that you don't have to come back, right? I mean, it's just crazy. But y'all, let's continue.
Potential idea. I have no way to confirm this, but a potential idea. When I heard about sleep or a lack of sleep, I was reminded of one specific lawsuit. A lawsuit filed by Dawn Richard, the former member of the musical group Dandy Kane. She accused Combs in a lawsuit that was filed last year of sexual assault. and being a witness to Combs allegedly abusing his ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, who we believe is an alleged victim, possibly victim number one in the indictment, who we believe is going to testify at this criminal trial. And remember, she was the person who initially filed a lawsuit back in 2023 against Combs that arguably started this whole legal mess for him. But also, you know, another reason she may
Oh, she filed a lawsuit in 2023. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Whoa. Okay. Wait, hold on. I know Cassie. Hold on. Let me see if I heard him right, y'all. Hold on. Let's see if I heard him right.
by Dawn Richard, the former member of the musical group Dandy Kane. She accused Combs in a lawsuit that was filed last year of sexual assault and being a witness.
Okay, last year, sexual assault. Okay, that was 2024. Okay. Hey, Laura, welcome in.
To Combs allegedly abusing his ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, who we believe is an alleged victim, possibly victim number one in the indictment, who we believe is going to testify at this criminal trial. And remember, she was the person who initially filed a lawsuit back in 2023 against Combs that arguably started this whole legal mess for him. But also, you know, another reason she may be an actual witness in this criminal trial is if Ventura is in fact victim one as laid out in the indictment, you know, this is going to be a key witness to corroborate Ventura's account. But
and of course, maybe they're using Cassie. Of course, hey Sheila, welcome in. Of course, they're going to use Cassie because Cassie, she knows a lot. I mean, she was around, she's seen stuff, heard stuff, and also did stuff. So I believe, yes, of course, she's going to be the key witness in all of this.
Dawn Richard claims in her lawsuit, going back to the idea of sleep, that Combs deprived her of food and sleep. Well, let's go back to what she said in her complaint.
Oh wait, is this stuff? Is she the one that did the forced labor? I'm wondering because okay, all right. Let's continue. I'm just thinking now that this is coming out. Okay.
That was filed in September of 2024. It reads, quote, throughout the productions of Making the Band 3 and 4, Mr. Combs deprived Miss Richard and her Dandy Kane bandmates of basic needs such as adequate food and sleep. When Miss Richard or her Dandy Kane bandmates requested meals or rest, Mr. Combs refused and chastised them with derogatory comments like, you bees don't want this, or you're all not hungry enough, and I'm paying you bees to...
Dang. Oh my God. Oh Lord, I didn't see that part of the lawsuit. Y'all, that is crazy. I mean, y'all, he was, oh my goodness, y'all, let's continue.
This demeaning behavior gradually undermined Miss Richards' confidence and contributed significantly to her growing feelings of insecurity and fear of reprisal from Mr. Combs.
Wait.
The complaint went on to say,
wait a minute. Let me rewind this, you guys. Hold on just a little bit. Let me rewind this and pause it. Okay, so it says right here. So it says Richard, okay, Miss Richard and her Dandy Kane bandmates of basic needs such as adequate food and sleep. When Miss Richard of her Dandy Kane bandmates requested meals or rest, Mr. Combs refused and chastised them with derogatory comments. Oh my goodness. So y'all, is that the forced labor portion? OMG. Tammy says if he paid Cassie, it would have been made public probably. Yes, I think so. But y'all, I did not know that. Okay, y'all, let's continue. I'm just finding out. I mean, there's so much to this case. I'm telling you, it's a lot.
Richard's confidence and contributed significantly to her growing feelings of insecurity and fear of reprisal from Mr. Combs. And the complaint went on to say, forced to choose between eating and sleeping, Miss Richard lost a significant amount of weight, weighing approximately 100 pounds at a height of 5'4".
Wow.
Miss Richard began to normalize these extreme conditions and perceive them as standard requirements of her participation in Dandy Kane. And then there's this, quote, Mr. Combs regularly sent his associates to wake Miss Richard and her Dandy Kane bandmates in the overnight hours so he could watch them rehearse. The regularity of these disturbances...
Oh, wow. So he would wake them up in the overnight hours so he could watch them rehearse? Y'all, that is crazy, but let's continue.
This led Miss Richard to adapt by sleeping in a sitting position, fully dressed and with makeup on, heightening her anxiety. Over time, this abnormal sleeping arrangement came to feel routine, further normalizing Mr. Combs' invasive demands.
Wow.
So, is it possible that this is all in reference to Dawn Richard? Maybe. Although I will tell you, she didn't, in her lawsuit, necessarily allege that she engaged in sex acts per se with Sean Combs. She said that he assaulted her. Although I will tell you, she did indicate in her lawsuit that Combs' assistant, so an employee, engaged in group sex with Combs and other men. But why add this specific paragraph in a superseding indictment, right? Well,
wow. Hey, Rakeisha, welcome in. Y'all, I'm telling you, this thing right here is with this forced labor. Is this the like I said, is this the portion that they added from Danity Kane? Oh my goodness, y'all, there's a lot of moving parts to this whole situation. But let's continue, y'all. Smash the like button, y'all. Let's get the likes up.
maybe supporting her potential testimony as a key witness in the case, or whoever will testify. And what you are seeing, though, is
King of B More, welcome in, welcome in.
how much prosecutors may be relying on forced labor to support their underlying racketeering charge. Remember, this is the main charge of this case. It's a charge that carries potentially up to life in prison. So they really, really want to get Sean Combs on this. And in order to get to racketeering conspiracy, count one, prosecutors need to show underlying crimes to get to that charge, need to show the criminal enterprise. What were the illicit activities this alleged criminal enterprise were involved in? And forced labor may be a more straightforward way to get there.
Wow. Welcome back, Michael Waller. Welcome back. Y'all, this is going to be a whole lot that Diddy has to answer to today, y'all. The forced labor, making people wake up in the middle of the night. Y'all, could y'all imagine your boss calling you in the middle of the night, telling you to get up and come and perform, or to whatever your job is? Get up and get these reports done in the middle of the night. Y'all, that's crazy. And then the food thing, y'all, this is crazy. OMG, y'all. Smash the like button. Let's get the likes up. This is crazy.
And to give you an idea about what we're talking about with forced labor, this is how it's defined under the United States Code. Whoever knowingly provides or obtains the labor or services of a person by any one of or by any combination of the following means, by means of force, threats of force, physical restraint, or threats of physical restraint to that person or another person, by means of serious harm or threats of serious harm to that person or another person, by means of the abuse or threatened abuse of law or legal process, or by means of any scheme, plan, or pattern intended to cause the person to believe that if the person did not perform such labor or services, that person or another person would suffer serious harm or physical restraint.
Wow.
Now,
and when you ain't feeding nobody, I mean, you're making them basically wake up in the middle of the night to perform. You know, she lost a lot of weight. She was 100 pounds. I forget how tall they said she was, but that is crazy. If she lost that much weight, she must have been stressed out, not eating, malnutrition, right? That's crazy. That is sad.
going back to Podolsky's letter to Judge Arun Subramanian that was filed in connection or in conjunction with this superseding indictment, it goes on to say, quote, "The government expects to provide defense counsel with a supplemental enterprise letter related to these allegations by March 10th, 2025. Now, we've talked about this before. An enterprise letter is something we believe has already been filed, in this case under seal, meaning we can't see it, but the defense has. And it's usually filed by the government in RICO racketeering cases that it more specifically lays out the exact allegations in the racketeering or criminal enterprise charge, what evidence the government seeks to introduce to prove that the specific underlying acts or events that make up that racketeering charge, probably filed under seal here to ensure that details about the alleged crimes, the potential alleged victims and witnesses identified are all not revealed before trial, because obviously that could negatively affect the case in some way. And now the United States Attorney's Office seems to have indicated they will provide a new, additional, supplemental enterprise letter that will lay out this more specifically for the defense about this forced labor allegation. But again, we will probably not see it. And I'll tell you what, I want you to keep that in mind, because we have something more to talk about with this, something in relation to what the judge just did. But before we get into that, I want to finish up this letter from AUSA Podolsky. It says, quote, "The government has already produced Rule 16 discovery associated with the S2 indictment and does not expect the S2 indictment to affect existing pretrial deadlines. The government respectfully requests that the defendant be arraigned on the S2 indictment at the conference scheduled for March 14th, 2025.
Which is today.
So Rule 16 of criminal procedure governs the disclosure responsibilities of prosecutors, including, if requested by the defense, the government has to every month.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, y'all. I don't know. I mean, this little situation with Danny Diddy Kane, on top of other things that, like I said, we don't know. Like, I really believe that they are focusing a lot on, and I may be wrong, and I'll take the L if I'm wrong, but a lot of the stuff that they're focusing on, I think there's like, kind of probably focusing on those things because they are important, but I think there is something probably even bigger and more probably disgusting that Diddy has done that has not been released, that the feds have, because they are going to have this big old package. I believe the feds got this big package, and they're gonna throw it at Diddy on the court date whenever it is like deemed necessary to bring that out. I'm telling you guys, I think there's going to be something that's going to be like a whole bomb that is going to be like thrown from the feds on Diddy, but with the evidence that they had, that they got when they did the raids. But y'all, let's continue.
To preparing a defense that are in the possession, custody, or control of the government. And they indicated they don't believe this is going to affect pretrial deadlines or seemingly the trial date of May 5th, 2025. Maybe because, this additional evidence, this additional discovery, not going to affect the defense's ability to prepare adequately for trial. But they request that Combs be arraigned in court on March 14th, when seemingly there was already another conference scheduled, and that's where he'll be advised of his rights, the charges, most likely will enter a plea. Nothing major here, more pro forma. But Mark Agnifilo, who is an attorney for Sean Combs.
Oh, Lord, here we go, y'all. This little Mr. Agnifilo, y'all, I'm telling you, I just question this man. Oh my God. Tammy says the feds ain't easing that knee off his neck. Absolutely not. You are right, Tammy. They are not going to be easing up easy. And this guy right here, this is, y'all, if y'all don't know, this is Diddy's lawyer, Mr. Agnifilo. And y'all, he has been on TMZ tour. He's doing doing interviews. Telling a lot of stuff that he shouldn't tell. Oh, Diddy can't wait to get on the stand, this, that, and the third. Y'all, do y'all know when the feds go and they start his court hearing, y'all, they are going to eat this man alive. Watch what I tell you, because this man, he does not know how to sit down and be quiet, just like his client Diddy. I'm sorry. Because when he was saying a lot of stuff that he's already said on questions about this and that, he has been talking out the side of his neck. And this is not going to stand in the federal court. I'm telling you guys, he is going to be chewed up and spit out by the feds. And I'm telling you, Diddy is going to do a lot of years, because this man right here, he be doing too much, y'all. He be doing too much.
Denied these allegations in a statement to Variety and remarked that, quote, many former employees are basically willing to stand up for Sean Combs. He said, quote, Combs looks forward to his day in court when it will become clear that he has never forced anyone to engage in sexual acts against.
And see, y'all, why does he say that? He says he has never forced anyone to engage in sexual acts. Y'all, is there going to be a video? Is there going to be a video of Diddy holding those pow-pows, up, to these women's head, men's head? Because remember, he had some defaced serial number, firearms, right? So is he going to be in one of those videos having the pow-pows, even like whips, chains, or whatever, forcing these women and men to do these acts? I do believe so. I'm telling you, that's probably one of the big bombshells that the feds have. They probably got video footage of them doing that, because when people, let me say this. When a lot of people, I mean, we all see it over all social media. You know, the young kids a lot, they showing the pows guns, they flipping them and twisting them and doing all kind of stuff, right? And they're showing off doing this. Did they probably not do that with Diddy? I do believe they probably have all kind of footage with that. I mean, I may be wrong, but I wouldn't put it past, right? I'm telling you, it is crazy. It's crazy. Rakeisha says, yeah, right. Yeah, I'm telling you, this situation right here, when it says that he did not force anyone, okay, you did not force anyone. That's what Diddy is telling you, but I'm telling you the evidence, the proof, and all that is gonna prove otherwise. Tammy says, this lawyer gonna help him in jail, and Jay-Z's lawyer ain't gonna help him stay out with all the I know, right? I'm telling you, these jokers is a mess, y'all. I'm telling you, it is so crazy. I would not, as a lawyer, I would not say that my client is innocent, they ain't did nothing, because when these tapes come out, I'm telling you, he's going to be looking crazy. I mean, you know, I'm not no lawyer, but if I was, you know, lawyer, I'd be like, look, did you do this? You know, if you did, we'll see how we can, you know, a roundabout say that you didn't do it or you weren't engaged or whatever. But just to plain out come out and say he has never forced anyone. And what, like I said, if they have those tapes, you know, even if it's a stick, any kind of weapon, anything can be used as a weapon if it's used in a certain manner. You know what I'm saying? It may be a broom or something, but if the broom is being like held to your head or, you know, hit, that's gonna be, you know, considered some type of weapon. So people don't realize that, you know, these situations, I'm telling you, it's going to show on these tapes, right? It's going to show. Tammy says the lawyer that left did the right thing. I think so too. I do believe so, because like I said, I truly believe that there is some situations probably with minors. I'm just saying, this is just my assumption. I may be wrong, you know, allegedly. I may be wrong. But I do believe that, and not only did he leave, I believe because of that, he probably got some intel that Diddy got these, you know, these minors on, you know, on these tapes, right? But also Diddy's lawyer, Agnifilio, he wants to tell everything, and the other lawyer is probably like, hey, chill out, don't say this, don't say that, you know, we need to work together. And Mr. Agnifilio, I feel like he's like a show off. Like I'm Diddy's lawyer. I'm going on this TMZ tour. Why are you on TMZ knowing that Diddy has one of the biggest cases ever in life, right? You are over here and you're telling all kind of stuff that should not be told and should be like held in silence until the court date. But y'all, I'm telling you, this is crazy, but we're going to get a whole lot of bombshells, I believe.
Against their will, many former employees stand by his side, prepared to attest to the dedication, hard work, and inspiration they experienced while helping build groundbreaking, award-winning businesses. So maybe kind of gives us an idea of...
Wait a minute, Mr. Agnifilio. Hold up, swole up. Did I just read what I thought I read? He said that, hold on. He said many former employees stand by his side. Okay, we're going to read it together. Right here, it says many former, right, employees stand by his side, prepared to attest to the experience while helping build groundbreaking, award-winning businesses. Okay. Why haven't any of them came forward and said that they were Diddy's former employees and all that? I don't think not one former employee probably even would stand by Diddy during this situation, right? I don't think, because even his cook, even I think the cleaning lady, he was doing things to them too. So not for one moment do I even believe that. I mean, he has a lot of his ex-workers, employees have came out and said that he did horrible things. And if you did horrible things to 2, 3, 4, 11, 50, 11 people, that means you did it to everybody. I don't care what you say. I believe he was treating everybody like, you know, sugar, honey, iced tea. I'm just saying, let's continue, y'all. This is crazy.
Groundbreaking, award-winning businesses. So maybe kind of gives us an idea of who he will call as potential witnesses for the defense. And look, this is all interesting because it ties into what.
Oh yes. Okay. I'm sorry. Miss Tammy Mo. Yes. Let's go. Exactly. Let's rewind that and let's go as day 26. Did he not have day 26? All of them was crying while they were on, I think, DJ Vlad's channel. He had all of them crying, grown men crying. And if those grown men were crying like that, could y'all imagine what he did to other people? We already seen what he did to Cassie, right? You know, so for his lawyer to say, oh, his ex-employees and blah, blah, blah. No, absolutely not. I don't think he got one employee that would even vouch for anything at all because he treated all of them like crap, right? All of them. He's treated everybody like crap. If he doesn't even have allegiance to his own mother, y'all, come on. He don't have allegiance to nobody. He treated her like crap. So this is like Diddy's lawyer. I'm telling you, he got the bag. He getting a lot of money to do a whole lot of nothing. I'm just saying, he got all the money to do a whole lot of nothing, but to help Diddy get them years and numbers and zeros behind his name, right? I'm saying it's crazy.
Honestly speaking, we were planning on talking about what our episode was going to be about today before all the news broke of this superseding indictment. So let me just lay out what happened as well. I mentioned there's multiple issues going on in the Sean Combs criminal case. So now we have the resolution of an issue that has been months in the making. Judge Arun Subramanian just issued a ruling on whether or not Sean Combs can know the identities of anonymous victims and witnesses in this case. Now, before we even get into what the judge's order is, let's first understand the arguments.
Oh, wait. Okay. Tammy says, oh, yeah, he got the girl with the big nose that said Don was lying. Oh, wow. Tammy says, did you hear CNN destroyed the Cassie Hotel? Yeah, I heard that yesterday. I did a live on that yesterday, Tammy. Yeah, that was crazy. Hey, Jessica, how are you? Miss Tammy says, apparently the original video was destroyed by CNN. Allegedly, that's what they're saying. Yeah, I heard that yesterday. I was like, this is just, a whole thing is kind of crazy, right? It's really crazy. Oh, congratulations, Jessica. Tammy says, smash the like button. Y'all, I'm telling you, there's so many moving parts, y'all. Let's continue.
And the history that led up to this. So now we got to go all the way back to October, when Combs' attorneys filed a letter requesting the court, pursuant to the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure, to order the prosecution to identify the alleged victims in this case. And they argued they have to know who these people are in order to properly prepare for trial. What they asked for specifically was a bill of particulars. That is a written statement outlining more details about a charge or charges that a defendant is facing. We see this come up a lot in terms of a criminal defendant's rights under the Sixth Amendment, namely, quote, to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation. And here, Combs' defense argued that they need a bill of particulars. It becomes especially important in a racketeering or RICO case because that charge can be quite broad. It can encompass a lot of different alleged criminal activity and underlying acts. So there is perhaps a need to particularize that more so in this kind of case than in other cases. They need specificity about what is being charged, what is being alleged, and so forth. In their October letter, Combs' defense laid out several reasons for this. For example, they wrote, without clarity from the government, Mr. Combs has no way of knowing which allegations the government is relying on for purposes of the indictment. Meaning Combs is facing so many different sexual assault, civil.
And you guys, Diddy's lawyer, this is what I'm saying. He's really slow, right? If you guys think about it, right? When they went to go apprehend Diddy, remember Diddy was not scheduled until Tuesday to turn himself into the feds. But they knew what hotel he was staying in and got him on Monday night. Do y'all remember? They came at like 10 o'clock at night. And they came and got him. So that should have showed Mr. Agnifilio that the feds are like really calculated in what they do. They are not going to give him all of the evidence. They're not going to do that because he's already been tested really by the feds, right? He's been feds. He been going, giving these statements, talking about Diddy ain't did this, Diddy ain't did that. He never, Rex trafficked anybody. He never did this and never did that. So the feds, remember, the feds have been quiet. Have they not? They only came out one time and was basically saying, I think with the superseding indictment, right? And they were saying, he has to go to court, blah, blah, whatever. But they really have they not? They've been silent. And how many times have we seen Mr. Agnifilio saying, Mr. Agnifilio, Diddy's lawyer, says that Cassie tape looked like, she was really, consenting to the Rex. And Mr. Agnifilio said this. And Mr. Agnifilio, he's been coming out saying a lot of stuff. And that's why the feds are like, look at little dum-dum. We're not going to give you the big package, right? We are going to wait until we are ready to present that information at the right time. We're not going to give you all of this information so you can go out and blab it out to, CNN or ABC News Nation or whatever, right? You're going your little TMZ tour. We're not going to do that because we know that we can't trust you. We gave you a little bit of information and you out there, you got like diarrhea at the mouth. Hey, Warren, welcome in. We is not going to give you that information. And that's why I'm telling you guys, there's going to be a big bomb in this lawsuit. In this trial with Diddy. They have some deep information. I'm telling you, they got some, like, how people play cards and they be like, bam, when they ready to win, when they're about to win, they know like the last card is about to be the winning card. That's what they are going to do at the last minute. Watch what I tell you guys, y'all. I'm probably even going to be shocked. Everybody is going to be shocked. I believe so. But let's continue to listen, you guys.
Lawsuits that we don't know if or what from those suits the government may be using in the criminal case. Also, they argued, given the anticipated amount of discovery and the expected time required for its production, Mr. Combs will be unable to adduce the identities of the purported victims from the discovery without the assistance of the government. Mr. Combs also anticipates that the discovery will contain voluminous evidence of consensual sexual activity, making it all the more...
See, this is what I'm saying. Diddy's lawyer, y'all, I'm telling you, he said evidence of consensual sexual partners. Y'all, I'm telling you, they probably did. When him and Cassie were, probably having a good time before all this big stuff happened to her. Yes, there's probably tapes of, her performing like Michael Jackson or Diddy performing like Michael Jackson, right? Whoever. They were probably both performing like Michael Jackson in them tapes, right? But at the same time, it came to a point where situations like were disgusting, right? They were like Ruggs was introduced to Cassie probably. The freak offs was introduced to her. He was making her say, Cassie, go sleep with this person and clap them cheeks. I'm going to sit over here and, choke my chicken. All kind of stuff, right? So when you say that it looks like they are consensual, absolutely, that's what the feds gave you. That's what they gave you because they wanted to test the waters with you to see if you were going to be on here telling it like you have been, right? He should have kept that to himself. He should have never said anything. But besides that, this situation with him even saying that the evidence of consensual sexual activity, yes, it was at a certain point. But that's what I'm saying. Diddy's lawyer is slow. If they didn't went to his house and raided his house and got all of these tapes, do you think that every tape is going to be consensual? Absolutely not. If the feds came and they apprehended him, they put some charges and indictment and everything, you think they just arrested him for seeing a tape with Cassie and him having, consensual, sexual activity? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm telling y'all, absolutely not. That's why Diddy's lawyer is slower than molasses. He is not picking up what the feds are putting down. I'm sorry. Tammy says, War says, yep. Tammy says, did he either pay or threaten people to say it was consensual? Yes, absolutely. Because remember, he was calling victims, threatening them and doing all this kind of stuff. So yes, absolutely. He was paying for them to say this and say that, because I think he was calling one of the Danny D. Kane girls and trying to get her to convince her to say something. It was crazy. But yes, absolutely. But this situation, that's what I'm saying. Diddy's lawyer is not picking up what the feds are putting down, y'all. He is slower than molasses. I'm telling you, he didn't, he didn't bump his head, and his elevator is not going to the top. But y'all, let's continue listening. Ward says, when they drop all their evidence, when they drop all their evidence, war, it's going to be a war, right? It's going to be a whole bombshell war right on in the courtroom, y'all. Diddy might even pass out and say, just give me the electric chair, give me the lethal injection or whatever. Just take me out, because I'm telling you, they got some evidence, and we're all going to be probably really shocked.
Difficult for Mr. Combs to ascertain which of his prior sexual partners now claim, years later, that they felt coerced. Even if it were possible to ascertain the victim's identity from the discovery, and especially given the volume of anticipated discovery, it's unfair to require Mr. Combs to spend significant time trying to unearth the alleged victims' identities. Now, first they argued, quote, courts routinely reject requests for victim identities in cases involving crimes of violence and racketeering, especially when the government demonstrates a risk to witness safety, the potential for witness intimidation or subornation of perjury. And here, the prosecution argued there is, quote, serious, well-supported allegations of prior attempts to obstruct and tamper with witnesses. And in fact, they cited the ruling of a prior judge who denied Combs bail, having, quote, found by clear and convincing evidence at the conclusion of the second hearing, the defendant, meaning Sean Combs, is a danger regarding obstruction of justice and witness tampering, and is a danger to the safety of others in the community more generally. And we all recall that prosecutors have alleged that Combs tried to improperly contact witnesses while in federal lockup in the Metropolitan Detention Center, the MDC, where he's actually been housed since his arrest and indictment in September of last year. And as reported by outlets like NBC, there was also the allegation that he tried to influence the account of a potential witness in the civil case.
You don't want to treat girl A because
Wow, I'm telling you, this is getting deep already. Like I said, his court hearing today at 1:00 is going to be crazy. And I believe he's pleading innocent, if I understood the first little video. I believe he's pleading innocent. But y'all, let's continue. This is like crazy. Let's continue.
Of, again, Dawn Richard, someone who may be a key witness in this criminal case. So the government is basically saying he can't know the identities of the victims. And the government wrote in its October opposition, due to the defendant's history, the government has serious concerns about victim safety and the possibility of witness tampering if a list of victim names were provided to the defendant. And then the government argued, you don't even need a bill of particulars listing victims' names here, Sean Combs, because you have already been sufficiently apprised of the nature of these charges based on the indictment, the government's submissions and papers, mountains of discovery, including digital material, search warrant affidavits, so forth. And they argue that as a matter...
Oh yes, Tammy, you are absolutely right. There are victims worldwide, because y'all remember when Damon from the feds before of course he was like let go or quit his position. Y'all remember he sent some of his agents to UK. They are saying that he had UK people in UK, and I believe like Dubai, if I'm not mistaken, one of those like Arabic countries, that he got victims over there. So when Damon sent his agents over there to UK, we're going to find out what the disposition is for that. What information did they gather? Who did he victimize over there? Y'all, the UK was like, hey, America, y'all got we got some victims over here by Diddy. Y'all need to come over here because we need to talk about this, because Diddy has did some awful things to some of our people and we don't appreciate it. So y'all need to go ahead and come over here. We need to sit down and have a whole meeting about Diddy. What came about? Watch, that's going to come out too. So yes, Tammy, he had victims a lot of places. Even, I believe, in some of those Spanish countries. I'm telling you, this was a huge operation. I'm telling you. And his little plane, his little aircraft that he has, it was in effect. It was transporting victims, trafficking people along the way and along the years that he was doing this. I'm telling y'all, just watch and wait. Watch what I tell you guys.
of how courts have resolved these bill of particular issues.
Yes, Tammy says international predator. Oh yes, he was an international predator, not an international pimp. He was an international predator. Absolutely, Tammy.
In the past, we should win. And this was what they wrote. When a defendant seeks victim identities through a bill of particulars, courts generally deny disclosure if the government sets forth specific reasons why such a request should be denied. And based on everything that I just mentioned, they clearly believe they did that. And then they presented another interesting argument that granting a bill of particulars would negatively affect their case at trial. Quote, the defendant's request would also have the effect of improperly foreclosing the government from using proof it may develop as the trial approaches. And the reason for that would be because a bill of particulars essentially confines or arguably confines the government's proof to the particulars that are furnished in that document. In other words, the government's presentation of evidence at the trial would be limited to what is laid out in that bill of particulars. And the argument is this can improperly restrict the government's ability to present its case and from using evidence as this investigation continues. Now, that was all back in October. Now we fast forward to what happened just last month because Combs' team filed another letter now saying they want witnesses' names, not just alleged victims' names, witnesses' names. They wrote, the government has produced over 20 terabytes of information, and it is impossible to do a proper defense investigation as to the allegations in the Enterprise letter in less than 2 months without the names of the individuals, both alleged victims and potential witnesses, who are listed.
Y'all, why in the world are they asking the government? Okay, it says the government has produced over 20 terabytes of information. That is a lot of terabytes. Hey, Kelly, how are you? We are surviving Diddy and this forced labor claim that he has to answer to today in federal court today for his superseding indictment. But y'all, why in the world, y'all, they 20 terabytes of information? Y'all, this is a lot of information. Y'all smash the like button. I'm telling you, this is a lot of moving parts, y'all. But let's continue.
Listed in the Enterprise letter. And so they requested a bill of particulars related to victims' names and anonymous witnesses as laid out in that apparently sealed Enterprise letter. Who are these people? In other words, the defense is saying we need more details about the racketeering charge and what the prosecution plans to do. And they argue we still need to know who these people are. And
yes, Tammy, they are. I mean, I'm sorry, Kelly. They said that the court is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. So that's what time the court will adjourn start. But y'all know it may take a while because y'all know last time they started the court hearing on his bail hearings, it took a long time, like an hour, 2-3 hours to start. But at least it's scheduled for 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to go live here at the lounge. And of course, we're going to be spilling the tea as it comes into us.
Prosecution responded. They have continued to object to this, arguing in their filing, quote, premature identification of victims and witnesses carries significant risks in a case like this one, which involves numerous allegations of violence, coercion, obstruction of justice, and witness tampering. Again, they highlighted how the defense has...
Oh, yeah, the witness tampering. Okay, Tammy says at 1 o'clock. Rakeisha says 1 p.m. Okay, is it 1 p.m. Eastern time or is it 2 p.m. Eastern time? I'll find out for you guys. I thought it was I thought it was 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I may be wrong. But we could clarify that, or somebody clarify that. We'll see. Yes, Miss Tammy says first time listening, but not my last. Yes, Tammy, welcome. Subscribe to the channel. We are surviving the industry, and right now we surviving Diddy. Tammy says, come on back at Miss Tammy. Yes, absolutely. Kelly says, oh, okay. I'm Central is why I said one. Laughing out loud. Y'all let me know. Okay, I definitely will let you know. Michelle says what time what time is that in the UK? I'm not sure, but we'll definitely check and see. Tammy says love the name, by the way. I know Tammy and Tammy. We got two Tammys in the building. Y'all, we got two Tammys. Tammy spelled with the Y and Tammy spelled with the I. 2 M's too, right? Tammi and Tammy. That is hilarious, y'all. Wow. Y'all, let's continue.
Is enough already. Writing, the defendant has received substantial additional disclosures, including terabytes of Rule 16 discovery, which I mentioned before, which provide him with more than sufficient information to prepare for trial. The government provided the defendant with a 16-page enterprise letter outlining in detail the racketeering activity and related conduct that the government currently expects to prove at trial in connection with the charged racketeering conspiracy offense. The enterprise letter described these acts in detail, including their approximate dates and the people involved, noting, for example, their titles at the defendant's company or providing other identifying features. In short, these additional disclosures undermine any claim by the defendant that he is not aware of the nature of the charge pending against him or is unable to adequately prepare for trial. And they argue that Combs has provided no adequate basis for this request. His motion should be denied, especially because the government says, hey, look, we're already required to provide this information pursuant to a pretrial disclosure schedule. That's going to happen already. And I want you to keep that in mind. We're going to talk about it in a second. By the way, I also have to call this out. It's interesting considering we have this new superseding.
Oh, thank you, Tammy with the I. Look, I'm going to have to start calling y'all Tammy with the I and Tammy with the Y, right? So thank you, Tammy with the I. Welcome to the lounge. She says she subscribed and is sharing. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you.
Indictment. There was a footnote in their letter from last month that read, quote, as previously communicated to the defendant, the government will supplement the enterprise letter in the event that additional incidents are identified or if the government obtains additional material information about the conduct described. And again, they just wrote to the court in their newest letter, they plan to do that in light of the superseding indictment, offer a supplemental enterprise letter. So what did the judge decide about all this? Will Sean Combs know the identities of these people? Well, Judge Subramanian's order reads as follows. Combs asked for the identities of the anonymized victims and witnesses identified in the government's RICO enterprise letter, reprising and expanding his October 2024 motion for a bill of particulars for victim names. The government doesn't oppose disclosure of this information. It makes clear that it plans to turn this information over to Combs on March 21st, 2025.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying too, y'all. They are not giving no information because, like I said, let me turn the camera. Like I said, they were not giving this information until they feel like the time is right. Because for one, let's be for real, right? Let's be for real. If these names were released, you know, Diddy got his goons. I mean, y'all, there would probably be some unalivings, some people, some car crashes going on, some setups going on, right? Because of retaliation. So the judge is not going to release this information, he said, until March 21st, 2025, the date on the schedule for the government's disclosure of 3,500 material under an attorney's eyes only designation. So I'm telling you guys, this is why and what I'm talking about. See, Diddy's lawyer is not picking up anything that the feds are putting down. Y'all, he is very slow. I'm telling you, the elevator does not go all the way to the top, and we are going to see that today. Watch what I tell y'all. I'm telling you, they got the package. They said that they are going to turn in this information over to Combs on the 21st of this month of March. Y'all, that's why they did not give this information to him ever since he's been probably requesting it since last year. The feds move in a meticulous way, y'all. I'm telling you. And see, these are the itty bitty things. These are the little bitty things that Diddy's lawyer is not even paying attention to, y'all. That's why I'm saying this is scary. This is going to be a scary day for Diddy's lawyer starting today. It's going to be a scary day in court for Diddy's lawyers today because this little itty bitty information right here is what he is not even picking up at all. He's not even like understanding these little things like this. Like, no, we're not giving you no evidence. We're not giving you no list of the victims or the co-conspirators. We're not doing that. We're not doing that until March 21st. So go sit down and have a seat. But Diddy's lawyer is not even thinking like, man, they got this list and they won't release it because I'm telling you that list and even the evidence is going to be a bombshell. Y'all watch, but let's continue.
For the government's disclosure of 3,500 material under an attorney's eyes only designation. 3,500 material, it's basically about statements and reports of government witnesses. Subramanian continues, Because this dispute has narrowed to whether disclosure should happen now or in a couple of weeks, the interests that would normally counsel against immediate disclosure have abated. The government has the information, doesn't identify any logistical issues in turning it over earlier, and in fact, plans to do so shortly, minimizing any concerns about witness tampering and the like based on advanced disclosure. On the other hand, Combs emphasizes that there is a tremendous volume of information that has and will be produced, and every day counts for preparation with trial 2 months away.
Y'all see? Combs emphasizes that there is a tremendous volume of information that has and will be produced. Y'all, I'm telling you, we have to, take these words for, I'm telling you, we got to really listen and read these words, because he already knows. He even says, Combs emphasizes that there is a tremendous volume of information. They have a lot on him. It's so much, they're only giving you a little bit. I'm telling you. Just like like I used to say, when people are making spaghetti, they're sprinkling a little bit of seasoning, sprinkling a little bit more, because they were at the beginning trying to see who is going to come and be banging on their door talking about they know information or whatever the case may be, right? So when they sitting here, when the feds first started putting out a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then they got quiet, y'all, I'm telling you, that was information gathering time for them. The feds were probably on their laptop, their computers, typing up, getting all kind of intel, right? That's why I'm telling you guys, watch, is a big bomb that's about to hit with this case. Watch what I tell y'all.
For these reasons and balancing the parties' interests, the court grants the motion and orders the government to provide the requested information under an attorney's eyes only designation, meaning Combs' attorneys can see it, but possibly Sean Combs himself will not see it, on or before March 10th, 2025, 3 days from now. And then it says the clerk of court is respectfully requested to terminate docket 36. This was Combs' original October letter.
And see, y'all, they are saying in that letter, they were saying that they were gonna be trying to turn over, I guess. Okay, it says for these reasons and balancing the parties' interests, the court grants the motion and orders the government to provide requested information under an attorney's eyes only designation on or before March 10th. But they were saying in the other one that they were going to issue it, I believe, on March 21st. So basically what they are saying is they're not releasing this information too early for them to be probably doing the most, right? Because they already know March, I guess, is giving them time to see who's on this list. But also, if any retaliation happens from this, I'm telling you, it's probably going to get ugly. But I'm telling you, these lists and on the names of even the victims list, the names of the co-conspirators list, I'm telling you, there's some people on these lists, and they're not going to release it. But y'all, let's continue to listen to the last bit of this. Hey, welcome.
So Combs' team is going to know who these important people are in this case. Will that include Dawn Richard? We do not know. But just a very interesting development happening in the criminal saga of Sean Diddy Combs. That's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar.
So y'all, it's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be some bombshells that's going to happen in this court case today. We're gonna be live, like I said. I need to see. Hold on, let me see something real quick, you guys. Let me check something for you guys, because I do want to make sure that we know what time the court case is going to start. Because I know some says one. Let me see. Some says one, some says two. So I would just want to make sure that we. Let me see. Diddy's court case. Let me see. Court case time, 14th March. Let's see. Okay, let's see. CNN, let's see what CNN is reporting the court date, the time. Let me see. Let's see. Because I know Let me see. Sean Diddy Combs will be returning to court on Friday for a pretrial hearing. Let me see if it says what time though. Let me see. Let me check and see, because I don't want to give you guys no misinformation. Let's see. For his arraignment. Let's see. Let me see. Because there's gonna be, I'm telling you, that courthouse probably is already, I mean, people is probably already gathering. They probably already started transporting him out there to the courthouse. And let me see. March, okay, March, let me see. Let me see. Because I thought the time would be easy to find, but let me check. And I don't know why Google is acting up. Let me see. Let me ask Google, y'all. Let me ask Google. Let me see. Or has anybody looked it up? Let me see. Because like I said, last I heard it was 2 p.m. But let me see. What? Okay, let's see. I don't even see. Okay, 2 p.m. So they're saying 2 p.m. at least on Reuters. It says his court case is at 2 p. Wait, no. That's 2 p.m. What's ED? Wait, at 2 p.m. ED time. Eastern something time, EDT. So what time is 2 p.m. EDT? Let's see. Give me some Eastern Standard Time. Let me see. So I guess between EDT, let me see. But yeah, but EST is Eastern time. EST is Eastern time. Somebody put EDT. I don't know about no EDT. What is EDT time? New York time. Yes, Eastern time. That's what I know, Eastern time. Okay, hold on. Okay, I know. Okay, so on this one right here, I don't know how true it is, and I'm just going off the Independent. It says that on Independent, it says if War says food time, you was a mess. I know, right? Time to eat. See, on Independent, you guys, on Independent, it's wait, hold on. Oh no, that's different. Hold on. Hold on, that's different. That's not for today. Hold on, let me see, because I'm giving y'all the wrong information. Let me try to find y'all the right information, because I ran across something that said 2 o'clock, but somebody's saying 1, so I want to make sure. Let me see. Oh, today, let me see, what's today, the 14th of March, right? 2025. Let's see. It says U.S. District Judge is expecting Combs to plead to the new indictment at 2 p.m. Let me see. Let me see. Because they're saying EDT. Okay, so I guess it is 2 p.m. because EDT and EST, is that the same? Eastern Daylight Time? Eastern Daylight Time? I ain't never heard of EDT now. I ain't never heard of EDT. We use EST, Eastern Standard Time, normally. But it says that he is going to be arraigned. It says, okay, so it says, according to Reuters, this is Reuters, and it says, Reuters is saying it's going to be right here, U.S. District Court. It says 2 p.m. Eastern, EDT, whatever the EDT here in Manhattan Federal Court. A trial remains scheduled. So this is what it's, yeah, so this is what it's saying at 2. So I guess it's at 2. Okay, so does that sound right to you guys? Tammy says yes. Camille says it's the same daylights. Okay. Okay, Jamil, thank you. Okay, so Eastern Standard Time is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, so y'all, okay, got it. Okay, so that's what time it starts, you guys. So at 2 Eastern Standard Time, 1 o'clock Central Time. So we're going to be going live and we're going to be seeing what happens now. It may take a long time because the last court hearings, they were a long time. It was like they started at 2, but really didn't even get heard until like, I think 4 or 5. It was a long time, something crazy, but we're still going to do it. Okay, Michelle Morrison says 1800 UK time. I seen there. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome, Michelle. Jessica says, y'all, I'm so tired and sleepy. Oh, so yeah, so y'all, thanks for stopping in. We are gonna go live again at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna catch this. If nothing happens and transpires, we'll just talk about something else, chat about something else. But y'all, we're gonna see what's going on. I know Law and Crime is going to be on point, so we're gonna probably, check them out and see what they're doing and what other people are doing. So we're gonna check it out. Latanya says he about to get what's coming to him for what he did to. Oh yes, Latanya, facts, absolutely, yes indeed. Tammy says Lounge Jamil ain't need to hug him extra tight from the back for that tattoo. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna make sure he don't. Look, I'm gonna make sure that he don't, Tabby. But we're going to get my baby a tattoo today. So we gonna make sure that he got garlic on his neck, he's protected, and that the hugs ain't too extra tight. From the back, right? No back hugs anyway, right? But that is hilarious, Tammy. Jamil's laughing. Look, Jamil's laughing. That is too funny, right? That is too funny. Rakesha says, take your licks. Absolutely. He better take them licks like a man that he is when he dished out all of this stuff, right? I'm telling you. Hey, Laura Lee. Laura Lee says, congratulations at Jessica. Yes, congratulations on your baby, on your new bundle of joy. Jamil says, Tammy, he loved me when he loved me. Y'all are a mess, Jamil. Jamil and Tammy be having me dying laughing. That is too funny. Oh my goodness, everybody is laughing. That is funny. War says no strap-ons, Jamil. No strap-ons, Jamil. Y'all, War, you is a mess. You is hilarious. Y'all are all hilarious. Oh my God. That is hilarious. But y'all, I'm not going to keep y'all. So we are going to go live. We're going to check this thing out. If it don't start right at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, y'all, we'll just hang around and talk about something until we get the meat and potatoes of what's going on in this court. Is he going to look like he is the black Santa Claus that stole Christmas with his gray beard, his gray head? Or maybe he got a marker and put it in some water and maybe dyed his hair and his beard and stuff. I don't know. Maybe we're going to see what he looked like. He might be looking like a hungry savage that he is, right? I don't know. But y'all, we're going to see you guys here in a couple of hours. Y'all always lead with love, peace, and tranquility. And y'all, we will see y'all in a hot New York minute, y'all. See y'all. Bye-bye.